but it's the Friday before Labor Day. It's Labor Day weekend Friday. I hope you guys have a barbecue or something, some good food to eat. But before you do all that, we got some stuff to talk about. We always have some stuff to talk about because there's always stuff going on. And it always has an impact on us, the small business person. Whether it's the big guys up here, the big guys and gals up here, whatever they do up there, it trickles down to us. And so we are here to talk about those things. And I am never alone. I am not alone. I don't know why I'm talking like this at this moment. Let me see if Leland from Oregon knows. Leland, why am I talking like this right now?
Oh, you're really riled up. Are you excited for the Labor Day weekend? You got some big plans?
No. Football.
Football, right?
Football.
That's planned.
I like that. How are things out in Oregon, though?
Oh, they're doing great. It's end of summer. These kids are starting to go back to school, and just peaceful over here. I love it.
Peaceful. Well, there's nothing wrong with peacefulness and tranquility and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of peaceful and tranquil, let's go to Ramon Ray. He's wait a minute. I saw this. The first face I saw this morning was this. I was like, what the hell? I didn't even look at the story. I just looked at that, and I had to ask because I knew something big just happened. And it's like, I don't know if this is the reason for this face, but it's Ramon Ray, and he's still out in California. So tell us what's new.
Brent, I am so sorry you had to have let's face it, the horror of waking up to that face or seeing that face within minutes of your rising. But hey, Brent, and hey, Leland, good to be here. But yeah, what's new is it's a good day. I'm a grandfather. My first grandchild was born 2 days ago. Thank you. And ordered a Dunkin' Donuts creamer because I didn't have any this morning. And I said, you know what? We've been going through the various stores here, and they didn't have it. They had other great brands, not the one I wanted. I hit a button, and minutes later, as it were, it showed up. So, of course, we've all ordered on Amazon many times, but first time doing that kind of thing, food where you really wanted it, and I was impressed. So, Brent, I am doing good, and it's good to be here, and good to see you in Leland.
Leland, just let's make a note of that. He spent more time talking about the creamer than becoming a grandfather. Yeah. Anyway,
that's a monumental moment in his life. It changed his life forever.
Getting the Dunkin' Donuts creamer.
All right, moving on to not the heartland, not the soul land. I think it's the rock and roll land of magical Medina. It is Evena Taylor.
Hey, everyone. Happy Friday.
What's going on in magical Medina?
As you can see, I am sporting a light sweater today to indicate that we have stepped into fall all of this week. I keep wondering if it's going to stay like this or if it's just going to be August and September, because that can happen too. So, but overall, we have a beautiful hotel going up in downtown Medina. We've got new businesses that are there, and I was just in town moving my money.
I love the way you said that.
Sharing my money with our local businesses, and I'm ready to chat with you all. Congratulations, Ramon.
After all that money moving, I mean, that's some good stuff. All right, we go to our nation's capital, where absolutely nothing is going on. Not a thing. Zilch. We go to Shashi. Hey, Shashi.
Hey, Shashi.
I'm trying to compensate for what you saw with Ramon early in the morning.
That's okay, Shashi. You don't really have to go that route.
No, I mean, I think first time I had to have a fall jacket, so fall has come very quickly here. Other than that, like you said, crime is down, stocks are up, everybody is living happily ever after.
They're living the dream.
And Shashi and Brent, I realized I didn't answer your question, Brent. That was the caption on that photo you showed was 4 a.m. call. That was the caption. Please continue. 4 a.m. call.
Wait a minute. You're that wired and your eyes are that open at 4 a.m.?
Well, if you'd expanded that's kind of showing the eye. That's Ramon eyes that are looking surprise and dread.
Okay, let me be fair. And let me show you the act. This is how I act.
There we
I don't know if that's better or what, but that's the original shot. All right. Moving on. Once again, last and certainly least, he is the bold one. Some call him the cold one. More and more people are calling him the old one. John Colder Ice Lawson.
Yay.
At least I like
What's
your
up,
shirt.
John?
I like your shirt.
What's up?
Hey, John.
This is
All right,
what
I gotta-
60 looks like, baby.
I got a quick
with it.
question. I got a quick question for. Did you go to the Sign of the Times thing last night? Was that
It
last night?
was awesome. Sign of the Times, yes.
The IMAX version of Sign of the Times.
Yeah, and anybody that's doesn't know Prince, you should go. And if you do know Prince, you should relive it. And I've seen it at least a dozen times, but for some reason last night it felt so fresh, so new. Wow,
Were a lot of people there?
It was almost full. You know, IMAX, nobody wants to sit on the front rows. So, but
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool. This weekend it's playing.
Yeah.
And John, do you have a new podcast, Mike?
I do. You can see it, huh?
You know, but it's good. It looks it should be when you see it, it looks more, unless it's not plugged in and it's fake and it's really coming from your headphones. It looks good. It's nice.
I don't know. I'm trying to see what the sound is.
It sounds pretty good, actually. It does sound
Oh,
pretty
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
I'm gonna
Normally,
go out.
I forget to turn it on. It's here all the time. I
Oh.
forget to turn it on.
It looks good.
All right. See, I was about to keep the compliments going, but after that, I forget sometimes. I mean, where do you go with that? All right, let's move on. Because I ask you guys every week, how you doing this week? And I'm usually doing it in the context of stuff that happens in the maybe the big picture of the economy and how that might trickle down into how you guys feel and what you're seeing. So I feel like I should keep on doing that. So just this morning, I was on the CNBC.com homepage, and this is what I was greeted with, if I can bring that up. All right. Core inflation rose to 2.9% in July, highest since February. The what's her name? Court hearing for Lisa Cook, who is the Fed, not the chair, but she's one of the Fed governors. And she was basically, I don't know if she was fired or Trump said he was going to fire her. And we don't necessarily know if he has the ability to fire her. And so now they're going to court to see what's going to happen. So anyway, the whole Fed is kind of left in limbo right in time for the September hearings and for the potential of an interest rate cut. So, there may be some stuff with that whole package there, with Trump trying to fire my buddy, Jay Powell. And now he's trying to fire somebody that works with Jay Powell. And we don't know if that is going to happen or if it can happen or not. So a little bit of uncertainty there. What else do we have there? Oh, let's see. I want to bring this up to the full screen so I don't get any of this wrong. So on the right, you have Americans expected to bet a record $30 billion on the upcoming NFL season. That's a lot of money. But retail panic, what the end of the de minimis exemption means for brands across the globe. How many of you know what de minimis is? All right, you explain.
I was in DC.
Yeah.
Explain what de minimis is and why is that important, particularly to small businesses, please.
Because it is an exemption for packages under $800 from paying import tax.
So that's going away. That doesn't necessarily sound like a positive thing for small business, but once again, I'm just taking the head rip right from the CNBC.com headlines there. So we have inflation kind of going in the wrong direction. We have a lot of betting getting ready to take place for the NFL season. We have this de minimis, which I am very shocked that I'm actually able to say without like stumbling and bumbling and fumbling over it. But that's not a good thing, or it doesn't appear to be a good thing. And let me see. Let me go back once more and see, am I missing any of the items that are of import? I think we got it all. There's the Trump administration cancels $679 million for offshore wind propeller. I don't know if that's important to you or not. All right, given all this stuff, that's just from today's headlines here. Who wants to go first for how they're doing? Who wants?
Let's be clear. That's only from the left-leaning media.
CNBC is absolutely not left leaning. I don't know what.
Look, dude, if you look at those headlines, those are all
John.
very
CNBC is absolutely not.
I'm just saying.
John,
I'm just saying, bro. And
you're
you
wrong.
know, I'm being what?
What you said. You're wrong. CNBC is not left leaning.
It's nowhere near.
I didn't say that. I
It
said the
is.
headlines are.
It's from a site that is definitely fiscally conservative. I don't know what else I could tell you.
Okay.
John, how can headlines be left leaning? If I go outside and kick your dog, that's not left leaning. I kick your dog.
You can choose and pick which headlines you want.
That is true.
Can you or can you not?
I gave all the headlines that were.
Not?
I gave all the headlines that were on this page. I'm not picking and choosing. I'm not saying
you. I didn't say you.
Well, all right. So who's going to start? I'm a little confused.
I will start. And the reason I'll start is just as always, my role here to provide wisdom, to provide direction, to provide what's right. John Lawson. But no, that's what y'all. But listen, coming from entrepreneur level up, I'll answer it a different way, Brent. I'm feeling fine, but as a barometer, having arguably 600 people, because nobody quote unquote lives in Las Vegas at these events. When it's in Las Vegas, not a local event, flying there, paying $300, $400 to $1,000+ for a ticket to see Damon John, Robert Herjavec, all the people we know. That's just one barometer that, yes, I think the headlines you're reading, Brent, are real. There's economic uncertainty. That's real. But I do think, on the other hand, so I don't have any clarity, I think we're still in the midst of a confusion-ish time. But it seems like these small businesses who were there across all sectors. One lady said, I'm just starting. One guy's like, oh, I've invested $50,000, $100,000 in mentorship. So my point being, it seems like small businesses in that category on this barometer, we're doing okay. And cautiously optimistic is Ramon Ray's view of the world.
Were any of them talking about any of those stories?
One person is that she stood up on a Q&A with Damon, John, or Robert, and that's just one out of, the Q&A, but she said it's hard to find people. So I don't know if that goes with the hiring part. I don't remember. I thought I saw hiring somewhere there, but right. She did say it's hard to find people, but no one mentioned Lisa Cook's mortgage fraud. No one mentioned the things on the headlines there. No one mentioned that.
I have a story from, I think maybe a few episodes ago. I had mentioned like my niece had started a small business, right? She started a low carb business. Mm-hmm. I think it's been a year at least. The positive thing is like they're really doing well. From a bakery, they opened a small coffee shop, and now they're getting so many orders that they actually are moving to a bigger space, and the bakery will just be this. I'm looking at it and I'm saying like, they don't have time for these headlines. They hardly ever visit us because the whole family they take my son to farmers markets, which is a good marketing strategy. Ivana, you'll agree. So there are a lot of small businesses that probably aren't dependent on the de minimis stuff, which will affect them because they may have been able to order a part much cheaper just on Amazon, right? And now they'll have to pay more. But I also saw that per package you have to pay $80 more. I think it probably means not what we order on Amazon, but probably the whole transportation thing. So the good news is they're growing exponentially. Mom, who was a doctor, joined the business. Dad, who was a techie, joined the business. So there's a lot of prosperity also in some areas of small businesses, is my point. Nothing to do with politics.
Who you passing it to? By the way, thanks, Scott, for letting us know everybody sounds good. I'll be talking to you later. And Nikki
and Shashi, and Shashi, congratulations on your success. Thank you, Nikki. Congratulations on the success of the store, man. That's big news. That's good.
Yep, I'll do that. So let me pass it over to Mr. Colder Ice.
Oh, I already had my
saying. Yeah, we already heard. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, well, I did. I already had my saying. It's just like, I don't hear these. And even with de minimis, I've been on the de minimis train for a long time. But most small business owners didn't know as a call out that it exists or what it was. They just knew that they could get, small orders for their businesses and weren't worried about whether or not they had to pay, import taxes. So now
So they
that
didn't know
is
any
gonna
better,
be-
basically. They didn't know any better. Is that what we're saying? Like,
They didn't know what it was. You know, they didn't. Right. They didn't. You know, nobody knew what it was actually called, so it wasn't an issue. It's like, hey, I just ordered, you know, $500 worth of something from a supplier out of China, and it came through, you know, FedEx, and it came no problem. So that wasn't an issue for them. And suddenly now it's going to be, oh, okay, now I'm aware of a tax, an import tax.
so now that they're going to feel it, how big of a deal do you think it will be?
It's a inconvenience more so than anything for those guys, because again, you know, they're doing smaller orders or just in time orders, so it'll probably be an increase of like 20% of the cost of the goods.
That's more than an inconvenience, though, and that's pretty significant, I would think. But,
Oh yeah, I'm not.
yeah.
It is, you know, something that they're probably going to pass on or eat.
Oof, that's a lot of eating.
It's
All right,
cat eating.
who you passing it to?
Leland.
So I kind of wonder if this de minimis removal will actually it's a good way to target companies like Temu or companies like Alibaba that will ship directly to customers to be able to bypass these import fees. So you don't have to bring it all into America in one big lump sum. They're just going to pass it, you know, do cheap shipping through Chinese freight shipping, and then be able to bypass that import fee. So I'm kind of interested in how that's going to affect Temu, Alibaba, all of these suppliers, where it's like, oh yeah, I can go and get this product for cheaper if I get it through China. Well, now you can't get it cheaper by buying directly from China, because you now actually still have to pay the import fee. And so will that actually translate into more transactions happening on Amazon, where buyers, you know, that fee is already built into the price on Amazon. And so now will that give like people in America who just bulk bought from China, had to pay the import fee, put it into their price, and now there's a convenience of, well, I could buy from China or I could buy from Amazon. It's going to be the same price, but I could get it next day now.
So maybe rejiggering those kind of things to minimize the impact.
Yeah. Or just translating more to less direct buys from China and more from people who've bulk bought from China, and now we're just American companies. And so I don't know.
And Brent, one follow-up. Do you think, Leland, is that what I'm hearing you say is that maybe this is why the administration did this, the de minimis, or the things we're talking about, to close all loopholes, meaning the anti-China, but up America? Is that what I'm hearing you
Yeah,
say, or did I
I'm
miss it?
kind of wondering about that. I do wonder if there's also other loopholes that, you know, it's like, oh, can I buy, you know, 5 $700 shipments from China rather than a $3,500 shipment and get hit with the taxes? And so it's just, you know, more ways of getting around loopholes.
I guess that means you're passing it to
Even
I have a question. Was the question talk about de minimis, or is the question how am I feeling today?
it was actually how am I feeling, but de minimis just grabbed some of the headlines.
Well, I've got nothing to say on de minimis. That is not a thing for me. But I do want to talk about the highlight of my week has been a video that I shared briefly on our little chat from this entrepreneur restaurant owner in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, who starts his video by saying, I don't even know what I'm doing, which I thought was refreshing, because He clearly was doing so many things right. So this guy buys this restaurant in the middle of Marion and decides that he's, like a lot of restaurants do, decides that he's going to have a brunch, right? Have a brunch. It's called Bucci's Italian Scratch Kitchen. He decides to have, but not just any kind of brunch. He decides to have a sing-along brunch. And this, my friends, turns into a thing. It so turns into a thing that in the middle of the day, I don't know what day he has it exactly, but he is sold out through December. In the middle of this day, hundreds of people, mostly women, show up, and there is raucous singing and dancing and drinking in this bar for 4 solid hours.
Didn't he say it starts at 10 a.m. and these people are already getting their drink on and stuff?
Exactly. And they are singing and dancing, but this thing is hit maybe, I'm getting it now because I watched a couple of the videos, but different people. Now he's saying people are flying in, driving in from all over God's creation to participate in this lunch. But wait, there's more. So this guy was so busy starting his business that he did not understand any kind of memes that were going on because he was too busy working, right, to be doom scrolling. But because a lot of his audience was women, people were making comments, about that man versus bear meme from last year or whatever. But this guy, even though he was clueless, did not know anything about this, what did he do? He kind of took in that vibe. He took in that feedback. And what does he do? He opens up a merch store and starts selling bear t-shirts. And they're like little teddy bears. And on his arm, it says the chosen one. And this man, and then I've seen these videos where the kitchen staff is singing. The waiters and waitresses are singing. The bar is rocking. And he says, I don't even know what happened. I don't even know. This brought me so much joy because he took what appears to be this ick vibe, right? With just people feeling sad. And he came up with a really, really simple solution. And not only did he start making more money, and then now he's selling merch, all because why? Do I always say? He listened. He was the observer. He looked at his customers and he played around with just ideas. He tried something. I don't know. I got chills. That was the happiest part of my week.
My question to you is, how far is Marion from Medina, and why aren't you at that thing?
I know, right? Because I just saw it this week, and as you guys know, we're gonna be together next week. But this is, and he sold out through December, so that means I gotta wait till probably after Christmas. But I am seriously considering doing a road trip to experience this great fun. It can't be very far, Ohio end to end in the longest is about 3.5 hours. So it can't be far.
No, that's nothing. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I watched it. I do like the way the guy explained it. He wasn't coming on like a know-it-all or, look at what I did. He looked kind of shocked that this all happened too, really. And yeah, when he said people are flying in and drinking, and then he did that shot of the crowd singing, I think it was Sweet Caroline. It was oh, was that a Boston Red Sox game or something, for crying out loud? It was mostly women, and quite honestly, I can see why, because I don't know.
Why can you see why? I was completely surprised by that. I come from a college where we did have a sing-along bar, and it was very, very mixed. So why are you surprised that it's mostly?
I'm gonna let Ramon go first for that face. Another face from Ramon. Go ahead.
And before I say the why, I just want to say, Brandon, this just shows that I think that we are in a bubble. We are in a bubble. We've watched Richard Brunson and Richard Brunson, the ClickFunnels guys, and all that stuff. Meaning, so we know this. But to the average small businesses, you said, Shashi, they're not paying attention to the headlines. They're just doing what comes natural. People are coming in, they keep doing it. So I just want to give shout out to what outside the bubble you just figured out, Marie Forleo's book. But here's why, Ivana. Okay, Lord help me. I don't want to be banned or canned or something canceled. But Ivana.
Hey, before you say that, everything expressed by the following by Ramon Ray is solely his. Don't put us. Don't
Well,
put us in.
I want to know. I was like,
tell
my
you.
first thing, like I read the comments and there were comments and I'm like, okay, I
No,
sort of get that, but
Even-
I want to
let
hear.
me just tell you right now, you know, just because I'm like Kevin O'Leary, I speak women's language. It's sing along. I'm assuming maybe they were holding hands. They're cheering. It's in a good way, a feminine, softer, in a good way, right? In a good way. Hey, girlfriend, let's get together. I don't even know what Sweet Carolina is, but let's all kumbaya. There's no 80%. I'd say no, because everybody's different, you know, but 90%. Guys aren't gonna like, oh, 90%. I'm not saying all. Yeah, but I'm saying that's a lot of ladies do that kind of thing in a bar. You don't. It's just we just. Did I explain it even?
Notice all the guys' heads are down like this.
It's all okay. All I'm saying to
That's
you
why.
is you have to understand, right? Our opinions come and our reactions to things come from things we've seen before, right?
Correct.
Previous experiences, right? So, you know, I went to Penn State. We had this sing-along bar. We've actually had a couple, but it was like a thing at the end. And I see what the guy is saying, right? At the end of a hard week of school.
Yeah.
You come down to this place and it is cheesy and it is ridiculous and it is all of those things. But I am telling you, it was 50-50. It was a cross section of the student population.
Sure.
And so but
let me give you another perspective. That may be an anomaly. And again, I believe that, but you're saying but I just want to get one. I just want to see if you have I get it, or if you'll stick to your guns. I'm just curious.
I get it.
Oh, okay. But even another example, you go to many events, right? Rarely do you see, let's say, a Patrick Bet David, Grant Cardone, Dave Ramsey, and there's 50-50 there, but how they lead it is not, let's all stand and hold hands, but many events, Jennifer Gottlieb, many names we all know, the lady run events, the coaches in business. Hey, ladies, let's get our energy before we start and have Brene Brown come. Let's get our energy. You just don't see a lot of guys getting their energy loose like that.
And that's so let's be clear. Get where you're coming from.
Yeah, okay,
I see you.
Okay, cool.
It's just like if you saw this guy's
Wait
like,
a minute, hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm confused. What are we talking about here?
We're just talking about a feel-good thing and an entrepreneur who was in.
No, but I'm talking about him talking about these
the women.
Guys
I don't know that. It's an interesting, but you know what though?
Why do you say guys don't do that? Every football game starts with some kind of
football different, John. Football.
I'm about to say guys do that.
No, what I'm giving the context of. I guess
we don't hold hands. We push them in the air like this.
That's what I'm trying to say, John. I just meant the sing along though is only it's different than the anthem or we will rock it. You get what I mean? That's a difference.
I think all of this is beside the point of why this is a feel good.
Let's get back to this guy and honor him. Yeah, let's get back to the guy.
I was gonna say it's got to be it's timing too. You said brunch and I went women. You know, it's the timing. You know, it's the environment. You know, it's if you had a bar that was kind of more
bar.
It's at night, more towards the evening, and they're singing sea shanties, and it's all done up in kind of like a pure bar type thing. I bet you anything, it's going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be 90% men, and they're going to be with their big mugs of beer, and they'll be singing. They'll have their arms around each other, and they will be singing those shanties at the top of their lungs. Yes.
You know what? But even the term brunch, like you said, Leland, brunch does not sound like something a dude typically.
I will buy. I would totally buy. I would totally buy it. Either brunch way,
is the best.
I just thought what I think is fascinating for our audience to get
something different.
Do something. If you have an idea, try it. Right? He didn't sit there and have this whole conversation like we did. Like, if I say brunch, who's going to come and blah, blah, blah. No, the guy had an idea, decided to do it, saw what he saw, and then said, wow, this really worked. Did it a couple times, was like, wow, this really worked. What can I do? Did he spend a ton of money to please this audience? No. He was like, what can I do to support these customers?
No, that's a great point. I want to just repeat for our audience what Leland said. Breakfast, dinner, men. Brunch, women. retired people between brunch and dinner.
the 3 o'clock dinner special.
Yes.
I mean, if you were to call it second breakfast and make it Hobbit themed, you may have a little bit better of a men turnout.
Oh God, the Hobbit theme. We breaking up the Hobbit.
Not a Hobbit theme.
Is there like a Bilbo Baggins like a platter or some kind of a Gandalf the Grey spaghetti or something like that?
Hey,
Yeah.
You do you is all I'm saying. don't I think that supports, I don't know who's talked about it here today, that I honestly, I think that most entrepreneurs, I don't want to speak for people, I have no intention of doing that. It's so overwhelming that all that you can do is deal with the circumstances that you have, the things that you can control. And I just thought that was a lovely example of that.
Yeah, I know we're having a little fun, but you're right. I think, and I just put the link out there. Or how did I? Oh, I was like, how did Small Biz Trends that? But I guess I'm logging in. So no, I think it's we're having fun, but honestly, if you watch the video, the guy he's not coming across like if you want to learn how to do show and show, I did that. He's like he literally looks like kind of sleepy, to be honest with you, and a little bit shell shocked. And he's just explaining, what happened, and then showing some of the things that are going on. And it's like, okay, that's cool. I love that approach, and I if that's the way you share something that was successful that you did, as opposed to I did it, and now let me give you the 5 keys. Oh, man, shut the hell up with that. But this guy was good. He was just matter of factly telling what happened and kind of the impact. And I appreciate it. We're having fun with the brunch thing, but no, it worked. It got a. What you said he's filled out until December.
He's booked. He is completely sold out through December. Now I'm just waiting for him to just say, how they have Christmas in July. I'm just waiting to have him say, brunch on Wednesday instead of like a weekend.
Or what was that? The Leland. We have brunch on Thursday, but Sunday it's
second breakfast.
Yeah,
Sea Shanty Sunday.
It's Viking Thursday or something.
You all remember Salt Bay?
Who?
Which one?
Salt Bay.
Salt? No.
So this was a phenomenon very similar to this.
Thanks, John.
It was a butcher who would like dance around and show himself cutting.
Oh, come on. Thank you, Gigi, for being here. And we love them too. We love Ivana and Shashi.
Yeah, they're very
Gigi is an old Bizapalooza chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Attendee.
Okay.
Thank you, Gigi.
Nice.
Thank
Very
you,
nice.
Gigi. But Shashi, Salt Bay, what were you saying?
Yeah, Salt Bay. Yeah.
So this was, I think, a Turkish butcher who was dancing in the restaurant, showing how he was doing. It was quite crazy. But that led to so many bookings in the restaurant. I think now he's actually expanded to the US and has a few.
But there was a guy who canceled, who had to close his business. I don't know if it's Salt Bay or another guy. There wasn't one guy, some guy whose business is closing now, or he had rough times or something.
Yeah, because in a way, these things won't last for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else will come up with a newer idea.
Or he'll hire a consultant. He'll probably hire me or somebody smart person and get a campaign together and funnels, and he'll invest his money, then his business will close. He should have just kept doing what he was doing, making money, feeding his family, and not trying to do something fancy with AI.
Speaking of AI.
Oh, boy, sorry.
You cannot do a show without mentioning A or I or, them. Anyway, I have a very short trivia question for you guys. So I'm going to pop this up. So NVIDIA, everybody knows who NVIDIA is at this point. They did their earnings call, and I read the transcripts and all that stuff. I found this really interesting prediction from them. It says NVIDIA sees up to blankety blank dollars in AI infrastructure spend by the end of the decade. So we're like less than 5 years from 2030. So 5 years. NVIDIA sees AI infrastructure spend by the end of the decade to this number. What number do you think?
Brent, can I ask you a favor?
And I'll give you a hint. It's definitely well over 500 billion.
That's helpful. Okay, because we don't have any context. I just don't know. Okay.
I was going to ask if that's like from now to the end, culminated.
This is everything, not just what they're going to sell, but all AI infrastructure spend.
Okay.
I'd
So
say
by 2030, what do you think?
You said well over 500 billion. Well, I guess 3.2 trillion.
That's a good guess. Okay.
But I'm not sure if that's way too high. I don't have the context of, but 3.2 trillion.
4.2 trillion. I'll put it for you.
All right. So we're going the Bob Barker route here. So we got 3.2 trillion. We got 4.2 sheep. So you just be even it because 42 is usually her number.
No, that's okay. I'm going to say 2.7.
2.7. So we got 3.2, 2.7, 4.2. Shashi, you're right next in my line. So what do you think?
4 trillion.
See, I never trust Shashi because he usually reads a lot of stuff.
Exactly. He
so
knows.
4 trillion. So we got 2.7, 3.2, 4.2, and the cold
1.5.
1.5. So we're all over. And anybody in the comments, if you want to take a shot and not chat GPT it, by the way, I know you guys. But we don't have time to wait for your answer, so we're going on. So the answer is Shashi.
You cheated, Shashi. You cheated.
All right, Shashi.
You should have recused yourself.
Did you average their 4.2 and 3.2 or something, or did you already? Were you watching, or did you already read the earnings call report?
No, the earnings call I was very interested in. I think some of the number 56 is in my mind.
Oh yeah, that was a 56% growth in, I think, was it data center spend or something like that? Something like that. Anyway.
Yep, but nobody will forecast. At least it's not usual to forecast in points when you do this so far ahead, right?
But Shashi, you claim your family has a bakery, Shashi. You claim you have Instagram followers, and you claim you didn't read the report. This is a lot going on here. I mean, really, Shashi, it's a lot of claim.
Ramon, you got to believe in my superpowers.
I believe in you. I believe.
I know that's a number that
no Instagram today. I chose YouTube and X because X I got like 15-20 people on my show last time. So I think we are having a few people from X who told me they're watching. So hello everybody.
Nice.
Hello everybody. Hello.
And don't forget, you can get the plugin. John worked with Leland to get a plugin to Truth Social. So it's an API call that you can stream the show live as well.
Moving on from that one.
Brett, can I make a suggestion? Like this small business and de minimis, right? Between what John said and what Leland said. This is not likely to affect small businesses who are just ordering online and not going to like specific non-US websites and ordering. Am I right, John?
Yeah, but I mean, well, one thing that I don't know if you guys picked up, but like several countries stopped postal delivery to the US.
That was going to be my question to you. I didn't understand how that worked.
Yeah, that's why they stopped it, because they don't understand how it works. So the deal is there's never been an infrastructure for collecting. So when he signs this directive that you have to start collecting, nobody has the ability on the US postal side to collect. So they have automatically rolled it over to the shipping postal service. So Australia Post, it's like, hey, Australia Post, you need to give us 30% taxes for, or whatever their number is for that country, right? And so those postal services are like, we're not paying that, so we're not sending any mail into the US. So that's where we are right now.
Right.
And John, just to further explain this, go ahead, John.
It won't affect what you're ordering on Amazon or any of the other portals that give you these goods from a US warehouse.
Yeah, I mean, anything in the US comes from the US, so that doesn't effect. It's anything external. But I'm saying like all Australia Post to the US, anything under, over $100, because under 100 is still considered a gift in there. So there's all kind. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of crap into it, but there's nobody available on the US side to collect these taxes. So they're pushing that collection off to the shipper, which is the other side of the world's post. And they're like, we're not doing that. So we're just not going to ship to the US. So they're holding all back.
But John, I want to ask clarity. So I get it if it's coming through this cup, it's going through regular mail, whatever, under the 800. But so I understand, because e-commerce is, it's your thing here. If I'm shipping 10,000 of these cups, then it's fine because I'm going through the customs route. It's declared. Everybody knows what it is. Am I correct in that? The problem is when it's shipped 2 cups through a little box, but I'm shipping 20,000 cups on a pallet. That's all declarable, and people can get their government.
Yeah, that's already, because that's being done on ships.
I see. Okay,
and that already goes through customs anyway.
Okay.
So, but
This
if you were so like for our business, right?
Mm-hmm.
We used to just say, hey, send it through the United States Postal Service, right? It's a shoebox full of shoelaces. It does, or not shoebox, but a box full of shoelaces. We can get that, shipped.
Perfect.
Before we used to just have it sent, no problem. Right now, it's a problem.
Got it.
So individual merchants dealing with individual merchants outside.
Right. So a lot of small businesses, like there are like shops, probably like even a has that might have different things from different. I saw a story about a postal, where they sell postcards and like, hey, you fridge mags and all that kind of stuff from different locations. Well, they used to have all of these coming from, all the different parts of the world. And now they can't have anything come in right now because it's been stopped. So those kind of things are going to impact, Main Street businesses, I think, for a time. They're going to have to work this out, the United States Postal Service at some level, which is, I'm sure they will at some point.
What I think is really humorous about that is that if we're supposed to be running everything like a business, could you imagine the additional cost involved in putting in, these things that John is talking about?
But you figure it like this too. We used to have COD. Just to think about that. We used to have COD. Maybe we're going to go back to that.
And
bring COD back. Come on, Trump.
John's going to have a demonstration, but it's an opportunity for and again, help me add some names here, even in John, but like the stamps.coms of the world, maybe Payoneers, whatever, these people that do smaller, they could do some programming, whatever they do, and have a button done. I'm shipping this and build it into systems. I'm sure that's a doable opportunity for the middle people,
possibly
for the PayPals, for the other people.
Possibly. I mean, but who wants to collect for the government?
If it's enough money,
not a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of money in that.
Good.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Brent, this is confusing to many people. That's why I thought I'll bring it up again.
Nothing wrong with that. I think we go back to the barter system. Forget all this stuff, man. You got a chicken. I got a rooster. We just do that. Anyway, let's move on. Let's press forward because I believe even in addition to sharing that really interesting video, I think you also shared this. New research, 20% of Americans use AI tools 10x times or a month, but growth is slowing and traditional search hasn't dipped. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? It's pretty
I thought this was fascinating, right? Because I think we were talking about the Perplexity search engine and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm going to see if I can explain this. But basically, the short skippy is that the hypothesis was that the onset of AI tools and AI search engines would reduce, what would I call it, the need for SEO and search. But that's not happened. In fact, what's happened is that it's actually increased the need for search and search optimization. And this was actually confirmed to me by my SEO guy, who said pretty much the same thing. And I think in that article, it also talked about something like the quality of the search that goes on through Google. So I'm going to probably explain it this way. You know, like Leland, let's say for small biz trends and sites that really depend heavily on search, you know, you get like all this traffic, right? And the traffic would come if you were in the top 10 or top whatever, right? But then of course we got to what they call, what is it called? Leland, zero click, whatever, right? Position zero, where they don't want you to leave Google, hence the whole AI taking up like scrolling on your screen, and you're not getting like the amount of traffic that you used to get. But here's what I noticed very, very quickly. At least this was my experience. And now I believe that this study here is actually proven that to be true. And that is, while you might not get as much traffic, the traffic that you do get is going to be higher quality and better. Sure. So, and I don't know if you guys have had this experience. So let's say I ask, you know, I do something, whether it's on Google and I get the AI summary, whether it's on Perplexity or whatever, I get that answer. I read through that answer. But if I am doing some kind of research, I'm going to click on a very specific link. So instead of clicking on a bunch of different links and not spending any time there, I'm going to click on a very specific link for a very specific thing that I'm interested in, and I'm going to read that article in depth. I may click deeper into that article, and that's what this research has found.
You know, I remember like, you know, like over the last several years, you'd see that infographic about what happens in the internet minute. And one of the things was, which is always on there, was how many emails are sent or whatever. And I forget exactly, but it got to a point where it was like a ridiculous amount. And we were thinking as new channels would come on that your reliance on email was going to go away because we got all this texting and all this other stuff. And then every year you would look at that new internet minute thing. I would go and say, let's see how less of a reliance we are on emails. It's like email still going up. The next year, oh, it's even more now. So it's like, even though there's all these new channels that come on, people ain't giving up on the things that they are so used to using. And so that's what I thought about when it comes to SEO. Yeah, there's going to be new things, and AI is new, and all these different things are new. But it takes a long time for people to start using new things in a really high percentage. And even when they do that, they still don't necessarily give up the other things that they're tried and true. So is there any surprise in this right now?
No, I think more what it's talking about too is like, it's taken away it's taking away the top layer of browsers. So if I'm just looking up, how many, clicks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? Well, when you give me, 3, that's all I needed. I wasn't looking to buy a Tootsie Pop. I wasn't trying to figure out the best methods for licking it. Mm-hmm. But if I were, then when you give me that initial result that is from AI, I'm going to click that link now to find out exactly how to lick so I can make sure I get to the Tootsie Roll center of the Tootsie Pop. You know what I'm saying? So it's taking away that surface layer of people that are just browsers, and they'll stay inside of Google. Whereas before, we would have it come to our sites, but they would just be click, puke, and leave, So maybe you're not getting that traffic anymore, but the people that were actually coming there for a reason are still coming.
See you, Shashi. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye, everyone. See you next week.
We'll literally see you next week.
Yes.
And John, to follow up with that, John, going back to the Tootsie Pop, is it fair to say that those of us in the bubble, though, we're relying on traditional SEO less because taking your thing, we'd be like, well, how do you do it? You know what I'm saying? We'd be go deeper. Is what I'm trying to say. Like today, I was on a workout. I have Chat GPT as an icon on my phone. Didn't have it there last year. I'm just using, I'm using a mixture of the convert speech to text and or the conversational. I had a question what lazy load on Elementor WordPress was. I knew what it was. I know Leland knows we know. I just kind of forgot. I was like, because I was getting ready to do some changes to my site. I just hit on Chat GPT. So I don't know if I confuse things, John, or if I...
No, but I mean, you weren't going to buy anything anyway, right?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So before it would have to go to the lazy load website and they'd be like, we got some traffic on our blog post, but it's like, you weren't going to buy anything anyway. Right. Now that might not come to that site because you got your answer inside of Chat GPT.
But it impacts the advertising, meaning even if I was going to buy, there goes the other side of it. With Yahoo, CNBC, all these sites are talking about USA Today.
Yeah,
I was in a room with them 6 months ago or a year ago, and they were saying literally overnight, they're seeing it, as we know now, drastic. So even searches like that, though, are still impacting the advertising side because no longer do you go to, whatever the famous WordPress plugin sites, there's a few of them big ones out there. No longer Google synthesizes all that and tells you, here's the answer.
And it's not just about buying, right? Because I don't want us to sidestep the importance of content and research. And in fact, and I think this is a big one. It's going to be a pain in the hiney for content creators, but it's going to be a big win for content consumers. Is that there's going to be you have really, really got to have your information solid. Right? Meaning that there is a space for solid research. There is a space for learning things because I happen to do a lot of learning type research. And so if I ask a question, the AI is going to give me this answer, but that prompts another question. And the problem with that is that other question is a lot more detailed. And I want to see that survey. I want to see that research. I want to see that data. Right. So whatever it is that's being linked to, I believe that in a nicer world that should hold some, that we should all take some responsibility for that. That is not going to happen. So, clicker beware.
Well, another thing that happened this week, too, is Perplexity did say that they're going to start paying publishers for the use of their content. So even though they're scraping the content, they're going to start paying publishers for that content. It's new, but I think that's going to be the new way that we get to the point. I mean, that's what happened with MP3s. At one point it was all pirated content. And
I remember those headlines, John. Man,
you remember that?
Days. We look at headlines like, oh, who's sued? Who's not sued?
Who's sued? Right.
This, making it up. 50 Cent won a deal with whatever. Go ahead, continue. But it was just, I remember those headlines. Yeah.
I think that's where we're going to ultimately get to, or we're going to have to, because these things are not going to stop scraping your data. I'm just sorry. It's not.
Yeah, but I don't think people should be getting extremely excited, all these little content creators, because just like what's going on YouTube with the video content creators, because there's so many of them and the algorithm is deciding who gets what traffic. Most the bulk of the actual big money is still going to go in the hands of like the New York Times, all the big publishers. They're the ones that are going to get the money. The little guys, don't get excited because unfortunately it's not coming to you. And it's a sad thing, but they do get excited and think they're going to get in on that. And it's not going to happen to a lot of them.
Even the New York Times, it's like Spotify. You make jack diddly on Spotify. Even the big names make very, very little on Spotify, compared to when people actually bought CDs or would purchase, went to the tours or just bought their MP3s off of Apple iTunes directly. So, it's like, oh, I got like $10 for this CD or $15 versus, oh, well, yeah, it got streamed this many times and I made a grand total of $2,000 off of all my fans.
I think this is where the blockchain is. I think we are still waiting on blockchain. It has not, it's out there. We're not talking about Web 3.0 like we were talking about it, but I do think that is yet to come. And it's always been, I'm not some blockchain. I'm like that. If you can see the infinite nothing about what I know. But one of the things that was exciting to me about this idea of blockchain is this ledger is for content creators and artists to own their content and to have the ability that anytime it is referenced, clicked, whatever, that is absolutely grabbed. And we are not even close to being there yet, but I look forward to that happening in some optimistic, naive world of mine where
the power
creators get paid for their effort, that you don't have to have some type of, you know what I mean? But that is not going to happen. The banks and the whatever middle people are there that like to take that little cut.
The power is in the platforms. Look at Amazon. Look at YouTube. The folks that are able to create platforms that get billions of users registered to the platform, and then people build content to show and get marketed to those people. Yep. Unless you're that, you're not gonna get the big money.
We all know, and this is something I would encourage folks to do, is like really step way out, right? Because we are forever going through cycles of centralization and decentralization, and we've been in these big platforms for a really long time now, right? So it is becoming time. They thought they were going to push it through. This is reminding me of HDTV. Those of us who are old enough remember that this has been a case study since 1983. So it's taken like 50 years, for this to be a reality. And I think Web3 and decentralized platforms and making it feel like, something that we could do, it's going to take a while. But I think it's going there.
Even I think that as I hear this, and I know we're cognizant of time here, I think that when I think about the example that we talk about with this gentleman who had the bar or whatever he had, singing in the brunch time, whatever this guy is, I say it in a good way. I think this is the essence of small business. Most of us, the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, I'm looking at, CNBC now, I'm muted on my screen. We won't be that. We don't have to be. That's a different game to play at the $1 trillion, $1 billion level. Companies that Brent and Shashi do cover and go to their conferences. It's a different game. Going back to the far side of it, building a $500,000, $1 million, $10 million, $5 million businesses that John coaches and et cetera. That guy said the best example. You figure out what works, serve your customers, make some money, your profit and loss, your balance sheet, your cash flow, you market, you will be fine. Enough to pay yourself, pay a small team, small being 50 people or 2 people or 1, pay your team. And so I don't mean to bring it like that, but I'm just point is when I think about all these things happening, this is the essence of what I think I'm seeing more of a successful business. Can I pay myself well? Do I have a good profit? And that's, I think, at the level, at least, that I'm at.
I like that.
Agree. That's so true.
Me too. And I think there is opportunity even in the midst of massive platforms, even though, yes, YouTube takes the lion's share of what they take. They've made a lot of micro entrepreneurs, same with even Spotify. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why there's so many booming podcasts right now, is because of platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I mean, so it's like, you know what? Money doesn't dry up.
Yeah. And John, look at us here, John. No, I mean, I'm not, none of us here that I know of are like the Mr. Beast level, millions of views, but just talking for all of us. I don't know what our personal money's like, but Brent gets around, Leland gets around, even gets around, I get around, John, you get around. We all, we're blessed in many ways. And it's the online platforms that's built it. My first little email newsletter, Small Business Technology Report, 20-something years ago. I have zero complaints. I want to do better, but anything that's not going well, it's up to me to fix. As we say in common circles, and no one coming to save me. I don't. Oh, they didn't buy from me. No, I have to sell them better.
But I think the cautionary note to all of this is, we all do this. We're doing it now. We've got independent podcasts and whatever, but we're not making our living off of that. We use that as a part of a way to get engagements, to
Correct.
do things, to sell products or whatever.
Correct.
But just us talking on a show, not 9.9 times out of 10, you're not going to make money off of that.
Right.
You got to figure out what do you do with that to make money. And I see it all the time on, I spend way too much time on YouTube, but you see all these people setting up and doing their shows, and they got their catchphrases and they're doing it, and they think they're going to become like multi-millionaires from that. And like 2 months later, you see these people and they're like, they look washed the hell out. They look like they've been through the mill, and they're literally, I watched this one couple because I like some of their reactions, and they've got like 300,000 or 400,000 followers on YouTube. You can tell when they were hitting their stride 3 years ago, they were adding the subscribers, they were adding the views, they went all in, they invested, like to freshen up their site because they thought they were on their way to getting those couple millions of people, and like 2-3 months later, the lady that's part of this, she was crying and talking about dealing with copyright strikes, and the algorithm isn't getting their stuff in front of the audience like it used to. Even the people that are subscribed to them, they say they don't know when our stuff is going, and they get completely overwhelmed, and then they just drop the hell out. And I think there's a lot of that going on.
Algorithm changes on all platforms.
Yep.
That's true, because the platform has all the keys. When they can say billions, like remember when I said read that YouTube 20-year report, and they were talking about they get 1 billion hours of viewing each like day or something like that. That's all the platform and the algorithms, because now they've got so many content creators, like millions of content creators. Now they can just use that algorithm to point where they want their traffic to come to. And those people that built, blood, sweat, and tears into building up their channel, and to gathering that, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, of doing all those videos and all that stuff, they have no say in it, even when those people are subscribed to their channel, because the platform really owns those folks, and the algorithm will shoot it wherever they want. That's got to be, I just want people to realize that, you can do all the right things and still not end up the way that you would hope you'd end up. Because I don't think that cautionary tale is told enough.
I think that there is a huge element of luck when it comes to getting it and making it big. Absolutely. I've seen, I followed a couple of, and when I say follow, it's just more they come up in my feed. I don't follow anyone. I don't want my algorithm affected by that. I want it to be based off of like what I watch the most. But I've seen a couple of influencers or people who make videos, and they have side jobs, and then they'll be like, well, I've actually hit the point to where, and there's nothing special. There's one guy who's like, I do fun facts, and another person who does video game content and does skits, and he finally hit the point where he's like, well, I make enough money to do this on my own, so now I quit my day job. But it's not, their videos aren't anything special. It's not like big studio, the gamer guy, his videos look awful. They're very cheesy. The lighting is bad. He's washed out in all of them, but the algorithm loves him. And it's just
for now.
I think there's for now.
Yeah.
And now he's doing these weird things about like puzzle, like he's taking stuff off of the internet, like memes and stuff like that, and talking about them. And I'm wondering if enough people, because I go right past those ones because they're kind of boring. And if there's enough negative on those, will that actually affect his good videos? And then all of a sudden the algorithm shifts and now he's not getting his money, or will it actually still continue?
But Leland, isn't it kind of a cautionary tale? Because you face that, online publishers face that at the whim of the algorithm change. And that wipes them out too. So it's not like something that's
it does that with Amazon businesses. It's done that with eBay businesses. It's done that with Google businesses. All the platforms, if you are dependent on traffic that you are not driving on your own,
yes,
and you are not taking them from that platform and having them on your email list, having one-on-one interactions, you're going to possibly find yourself in trouble at some point. It's possible.
And I don't think that story is told enough so that people, when they are starting to get into this, They see the Mr. Beast stuff. Oh my God, it's great. But that's one dude out of like a billion people that get to that level. The most people are going to be in a completely different ballgame. And I wish that was told so that these people have at least a little bit of an even out story, because I see so many people that get excited. And I like I said, I like some of these folks. I like what they do, and they take pride in what they do. But then like a month later, once they went all in, they say, I'm going to do all this, and then I get that same, oh my God, I can tell they're getting ready to stop, and it's just way too many of those kind of stories. I wish we had a little better evening out so that people really know what they're getting themselves into. Anyway, we've gone way too long.
This is good, Brent.
Final thoughts, Ramon. What final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. I just want to give a shout out and say, listen, I recently appointed as Bitdefender Small Business Ambassador, and in that role, really reminding everybody, you go home at night, lock the doors of your house, click, you get out of your car, boop, boop, and we want you to make sure that your small business is secure. So definitely check out bitdefender.com/Ramon and check out how to secure your small business, and harken back to what we just said, Brent. Harken back is that run your business, build relationships, build a network, do the best you can, keep learning, and understand that we all have a chance to be successful, but we just have to make it work how we can make it work. I will tag.
Do we get the sound effects with that too? Like with the beep beeps and the beep boops? Okay,
listen, absolutely. I can do it again if you like. Beep beep. All day, no problem. Leland, I'm tagging you.
What's old is new, retro, nostalgia is a huge factor. I just recently noticed, and I've been getting a lot of these ads. McDonald's has brought back the clown. They got rid of Ronald McDonald back around 2000. I think it
really
had to be. Yeah,
I hadn't even known.
Well, they pulled him from most of the ads. Yeah.
Oh, there was around that time there was people dressing up as clowns coming out of the forest, looking all creepy, and then all of a sudden Ronald McDonald was nowhere to be seen. And not only that, but they've brought back like all of the little, like the hamburger.
The hamburger is back too. All right, I like the hamburger.
All those people, and so it's just one of those things where it's like, even McDonald's is like, well, maybe we need to bring back the joy a little bit, things that people really loved and enjoyed. And, that's a lesson that small business owners can take. If you had something that worked and you changed it and all of a sudden things are not doing as well, maybe go back and revisit. Start, if you stop doing the singing and people stopped coming, well, maybe you need to start singing more.
Yeah. I think the Crackle Barrel folks learned that.
Hello.
Well, that was my thing, so I'm going to go next.
Go for it, John.
Get out of
because I definitely wanted to just touch on Cracker Barrel and how they spent millions of dollars to upgrade their logo to some boring ass logo.
Whoa.
Spent zero on how trashy the damn food is. Let's see how well that works out for you.
John, I'm sorry. Usually I don't like to interrupt people. I'm so sorry, John. I know time is short, Brent. The apples are good. The chicken fried steak is good. The biscuits with the jelly and the butter are good. Come on.
Trust me, bro. I mean, if you went there 20 years ago, it ain't as good as it used to be.
It's better than Waffle House, that's for sure. With fingernails.
No, it's not. Hey.
Brent, extend the show.
I will drag you right now.
Waffle House slapped some cheese that they put.
Wait a minute.
On top of my omelet. No.
Next week, y'all will be face to face for this conversation. So.
We'll have a little bit of a little Waffle House fight going on.
Waffle House versus Cracker Barrel, John. Let's do it. I'll destroy you.
I'd rather do Bob Evans versus Cracker Barrel. If we're going, that's apples.
Nobody's hyped up. Nobody's hyped up over Bob Evans.
Bob Evans is too little market share.
A bomb, though. But anyway, go ahead.
Somebody please
we'll
tag
let Ramon go, and then, or did he already go? Even you're going. Go.
I got nothing. You guys all took my stuff, right? You guys all, because I have been saying market like it's 1999, which means like direct to people to people. So, yeah, make some friends, send some postcards, send a love letter today to
go to brunch.
You really go to brunch. I got nothing today, really. You guys have said it. I don't know what I'm going to do when I see you people. I'm just going to be quiet.
That is not about to
That
happen.
never happens. We already
We're
know.
gonna have fun.
So as you've heard, we have been talking about, oh, we're going to see each other. So we are going, all of us, all 6 or 7, I can't remember how many people exactly, but all of us are going to San Antonio, Texas, the Riverwalk next week for, I think they're calling it SMZ. It's Zoho's first ever like small business influencer analyst event. They've broken up from the enterprise folks. They're letting the small biz folks take over San Antonio. Bring your cowboy hats and boots if you have them. And as it is, I think they're going to host us in recording one of these shows. So we're going to be finally all in the same room where we love to be, but we also know there may be some disagreements. And we're going to have a great
Is there going to
conversation.
be touching? Is there going to be touching?
There's not going to be hand holding and Sweet Caroline singing. I'll tell you that much right now.
No touching.
But but we'll all be glad to be there, and it'll be fun to have these kind of conversations face to face. So I don't know if that will be up for next week, but eventually you'll get to see us all together hashing things out, coming to you relatively soon. But in the meantime, have a great weekend, have a great holiday weekend, have a great Labor Day. Eat some cooked out grilled food. Got to do that. So that's what you got to do on Labor Day. Anyway, we will see you the next time. Have a great one.